Fever in the Colonia, among the broken men. 70 years of iron and the trumpets sound again in the hollow of my skull. That Gaulish winter wind, I was a boy from Picenum, with the farmer's hands and skin. Now just bones and old scars and a will that won't rescind. The Aquila still marches through the marrow of my mind. The itinerarium brought me to the Castra gate. The clerk with wax tablets measuring out my fate. Measured against the post, they marked my name in wax. Took my father's lineage and gave me Caligate pack and axe. A number on the ration roll, a place within the tent. The Republic needed meat, I was young, I was fit, I went. Before the eagle of the 10th, I knelt on frozen ground. 5,000 throats repeating what no civilian voice could sound. The sacramentum seared my tongue to Gaius Julius Imperator, to obey until the death, to ask for nothing more. The Aquila watched me with her golden eyes of stone. I swore, and something in me turned to bone. Contubernium, 8 men, 1 tent, 1 mule, 1 fire. Sextus from Brundisium, Lucius from Tiber's lyre. We learned to dig before they taught us how to kill. The fossa, the vallum, the sudis, blisters on the drill. Then the centurion came with his vetus of twisted vine, cracked it across my shoulders for a speck of rust on iron. Not cruelty, just geometry, the machine must be maintained. I learned to love the pain, or at least to keep it chained. First march beyond the province into those haunted woods. 20 miles by noon, they said, with 60 pounds of goods. My Caligate filled with blood, the salt of my own skin. We passed the bones of last year's men, too slow to let them into the wagons. Dysentery took 3 before we saw a spear. I buried boys I never knew and drank their rationed beer. The Rhine was cold, the Germans watched us from the other side. We built a bridge in 10 days, then burned it just for pride. Aria, Vista, Silesia, they blur now. Fever hot, the moment when the pylon arcs and all thought stops. The shield wall breaks against the Gallic line like a wave of red tile. Then it's the gladius, short, obscene, intimate, the style of butchers, not of soldiers. I felt his ribs give way through the mail, through the flesh, through whatever gods he prayed to. He had blue eyes, I remember that they stayed open while we stripped the dead. My centurion said, "Good kill, now dig his grave." To this bed, this sweat, this colony of retired ghosts. The Aquila still marches where the marrow used to host my soul. I was 17 when I took the oath, that boy is dead. What walks in his Caligate now wears iron in its head and heart and hand. The sacramentum does not end with life. I hear the tesserum whispered the password into night. Stand fast, stand fast. I stood, I stand, I fall. The trumpets fade to a single drum. That is all. Fever in the Colonia, but the vine still grows. through the marrow of my hand, where the vitus used to close, around the throat of cowards, around the wrist of thieves. I was a simple Miles once, with the brothers' shared beliefs. Now the Aquila demands a different kind of man, one who counts the lashes, not the ones who understand. The promotion came at Gergovia, and the old man took a spear through the gap below the Lorica. No medic could come near. I caught him as he fell, his blood washed out my name. They pinned the silver Veylor ray upon my breast, and came the Aquila with the tablets, the Tesseraris with the wine. Primus Pilus of the first cohort, sign here, the men are thine. Time that I struck him gay, sleeping on his watch, I did it with my fist because my soul had not yet botched the wiring of a man into a mechanism of command. But the vitus came next morning from the pilot's prior's hand. 10 blows across the shoulders, counted out by all the tent. Not cruelty, just geometry, the mathematics of consent to discipline. I learned to swing it with the centurion's wrist, to make the sound precise, to make the lesson hold, to insist. Then the desertion Marcus from the 4th century, third manipul, caught him at the Porta Decumana, trying to sell his Pugio for passage on a merchant galley bound for Ostia. And home I read the charge from the commentary, standing by the Praetorium dome. The law was clear, fustuarium, the whole cohort formed the square. I did not look in his eyes, I gave the order. They were there to beat him with their fists and clubs until the breath was gone. I wrote the entry in the morning, one man disciplined on. The tabulae on my evenings, rations pay the stipendium rolls. Who drew his grain, who forged his sick note, who sold his Caligay souls. The centuriae were 80 mouths, but the first cohort was 600 strong. I balanced Caesar's ledger while the trumpets played the song of another German raid, another bridge, another winter freezing. In the margins of the wax I scratch my own new pleas to whatever God had watched me kneel before the eagle stone. Is this what I was promised? Is this what I have grown? The men stopped calling me by name, I was centurion, sir. The contubernium I once knew dissolved into a blur of faces that grew younger every year. I did not die while I grew harder in the sinew, harder in the eye. The vitus grew extensions in my fingers, in my spine. I walked the via principalis, and the ranks stood straight as line upon the tabulae. I drew not men, units, tools, grain. I had become the thing that keeps the Aquila from the rain. Back to this bed, this sweat, the vitus long since passed to a younger hand that grips it with the fervor of the last. True believer, I see him now, that boy from Picenum's dirt, kneeling at the sacrament, his tunic torn, his heart alert. He did not know the vine would grow from the palm into the bone. That command is a slow crucifixion, and the cross is carved from stone. The Aquila still marches, the tabulae still turn. The vitus waits for hands that have not yet learned to burn. Colonia, and the eagle comes for me. Not the gilded bird of bronze, but something I can't see. It walks on legs of shadow through the tent where I lie prone. 70 years of iron, and now they want the bone, the marrow and the memory, the sinew and the scar. The Aquila does not forgive. The Aquila does not mar. It takes. The last campaign was farceless, though I did not hold a line. My knees had turned to gravel, and the medic said, decline. You have served your 20 years and 5 beyond the mark. The Legion has your youth, it will not have your dark. And coughing and among the ranks they gave me my honesta missio. A plot of land, a Colonia, a silence like a fish that swallows the hook and does not thrash. I walked away. The Aquila stayed. The Aquila always stays. I tried to farm the soil they gave me here in Bisonum's clone, but my hands remembered only how to grip the vitus bone, how to form the testudo, how to count the stipendium rolls. The wheat grew wild and tangled like the hair of deserting souls. I sold the land for wine I drank with other broken men who spoke of Caesar only in the past and never when he was alive and we were young and the Aquila was new. Now the wine is sour and the men are few and the fever grew. I see them all now marching through the plaster of my tent, the first cohort in full kit with their 60 pounds spent on armor. I can smell the oil, the sweat, the rust, the caligate grinding dust into the bone, into the crust of the earth we never owned but only held for Rome. I hear the Thesaurarius whisper the password home, but home is not a place. Home is the space between the shields where a boy from Pisanum kneeled and never rose and never yields. The imperator is dead, they say, struck down by senators' blades on the Ides of March in the Curia, where the last light fades. I felt it in my fever, though the news came months ago. Something in the marrow cracked, something in the shadow of the Aquila shifted. She does not serve a man, she serves the thing that men become when they have burned through their reserves of mercy, blood and name. She is the god we made from war, and I am just the wick that burned too long and burned too sore. Now the cornicing sounds the deposit from the laying down. The trumpets do not call to arms, they only make a sound like water draining from a bath, like stone eroding into sand. The medicus is gone, there is no one left to hold my hand but the shadow eagle settling on my chest with all her weight of gilded bronze and captured gods in the geography of hate that maps the world in legions. I feel her talons press through the lorica I no longer wear, into the nakedness of whatever soul remains. I do not see the Colonia, I do not see the bed. I see the Via Principalis stretching out ahead into a mist that smells of pitch and the fires of the slain. The first cohort stands in silence, they do not speak my name, they do not speak at all, they only turn